Good evening, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for coming back. I always appreciate your presence. Today is December the 16th, 2023. I have several news updates to share with you. Thank you. I will start with a short video I got from Fana Television about the 88th year anniversary of Ethiopian Air Force. So it's a big celebration, uh, expression of proud by this organization, Ethiopian Air Force. And it seems like the country is just, normal. You don't see any negativity. It's just proud and expression of capability by Prosperity Party and those who are supporting the Prosperity Party. So yes, it's good to have capability in defending the country, but what we have seen under Abiy Ahmed is not that. Sudan crossed in the Ethiopia border. South Sudan multiple times crossed to Ethiopian border. Eritrea is still in Ethiopia. So I don't know what they just showing off these Air Force capabilities, but the thing supposed to be done is not done. Anyway, uh, we know Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed invest heavily in security apparatus, military, police, and those undercover operatives, plus the Air Force. Uh, that's the only way he think he can survive. He doesn't care investing in health system, education, and job opportunities, and in easing the lives of Ethiopians. People are suffering. People are crying for solution. Uh, there is no school activity. There is no health care activity in war-torn areas. Tigray, Amara, Oromia, and the people are suffering, and the millions are hungry, millions are displaced. What he's doing, what Prosperity Party and the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia is doing, investing heavily in the military, graduating new recruits, and buying drones, uh, putting more money in the military. So he doesn't care about those new graduates, sitting in their family, being dependent after graduating 4 years, 5 years of study. And schools are destroyed, medical health are destroyed, farming, all other activities are destroyed. So that's the only way prosperity think development will come. Just invest in the security that will protect your power forever. That is their dream. So let's start with this video, then continue with other news. Thank you again for coming back. Let's see their anniversary for a few minutes.
የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል ምስረታን አስመልክቶ ከህዳር 20 ጀምሮ ሲከበር የቆየው የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል ቀን ዛሬ ማጠቃለያ ፕሮግራሙን በቢሾፍቱ ከተማ ሲያደርግ ከኢትዮጵያውያን በተጨማሪ የተባበሩት አረብ ኤሚሬቶች አብራሪዎች ተሳታፊ የሆኑበት የበረራ ትርኢት ተካሂዷል። ይህን የበረራ ትርኢት በቦታው ተገኝተው የተመለከቱት በካሊፎርኒያ ስቴት ዩኒቨርሲቲ የፖለቲካል ሳይንስ መምህርና የህግ ባለሙያ የሆኑት ፕሮፌሰር አለማየሁ ገብረማርያም ያዩት የአየር ትርኢት ኩራት እንዲሰማቸው እንዳደረገ ገልጸዋል።
ኩራት ነው የተሰማኝ ልጆኜ የኢትዮጵያን አየር ኃይል ፓይለት መሆን ሁልጊዜ ህልሜ ነበረ እና ዛሬ ወጣቶቹ በዛ ላይ ተሰማርተው እንደዚህ አይነት ትዕይንት ሲሰሩ በተለይ የችሎታቸውን ማስመስከር ሲያሳዩ የተሰማኝ የልብ ኩራት ይሄ ነው ብዬ መናገር አልችልም።
አየር ኃይሉ ከ5 ዓመት በፊት የነበረውን አቋም አሻሽሎ ያሳየው ለውጥ ሁሉም ኢትዮጵያዊ ሊኮራበት የሚገባ ነው ሲሉም ተናግረዋል።
ዛሬ 5 ዓመት መጥቼን ቦታቸው ነበር። አልቅሼ ነበር። በሞቱ በጣም አውድቀውት ነበር። ቀድሞ የተባለው መንግስት በጣም ወድቆ ነበር። በየቦታው እጃቸ ነበር። አሁን ግን ምን አይነት በመሬቱ ላይ ያለው ለውጥ በራፍ አውሮፕላኖቹን የመጠገን ያለው ችሎታ አሁን የሚበሩትን ነገር በጣም የሚያኮራ ስራ ነው። ደግሞ ሁሉም ኢትዮጵያዊ ሊኮራበት ይገባል። ምክንያቱም በ5 ዓመት ውስጥ ነው ከመሬት የተነሳው ይሄ ድርጅት ማለት ይሄ ተቋም።
የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል በአየር ላይ ለመዋጋት የሚያስብ ጠላት ካለ በአየር ላይ እንደሚቀር የሚያስመሰክር ነው ያሉት ፕሮፌሰሩ አየር ኃይሉ ከዚህም በላይ አቅሙን ማሳደግ የሚችል የኢትዮጵያ መከታና ተገን ነው ብለዋል።
ለኔ የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል ማለት አየሩን የሚቆጣጠር ጠላት በአየር የሚያስብ ካለ አየር ላይ እንደሚቀር የሚያረጋግጥ ኃይል ነው። የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል በአሁን ብቻ ሳይሆን ከዶም በኔ እንኳን የነበሩ ጊዜ በሶማሌም ሆነ በሌላ በኩል ያስመሰከረ ነው። ደግሞ ታሪኩም ከፍ ያለ ነው።
የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል 88ኛ ዓመት የምስረታ ቀን የኢትዮጵያ አየር ኃይል በመስዋዕትነት ሀገርን የዋጀ በሚል መሪ ቃል ነው የተከበረው።
Okay.
I now give the floor.
Okay, we'll come back to the 77th year anniversary of Human Rights Declaration, I think, Universal Declaration. I will come back to that one. So that is the 88th anniversary of Ethiopian Air Force since its foundation. And we have guest of honor from California State University, Professor Alemayo Gabra Mariam. He is a personal witness account, and he's, I don't know why they choose this guy, but he is like maybe a core supporter of Prosperity Party. That may be the only reason they invited him from California all the way to Ethiopia to bear witness and to give the account and even blame TPLF for the failure of this Air Force. And now he's admiring the new leadership, the Prosperity Party, Abiy Ahmed, in reestablishing the Air Force, creating this new capability of destroying the enemy in the air. And so that's the the priority, as I said, priority of Prosperity Party and Abiy Ahmed, investing heavily in military capability, not in education, not in job or employment, not in health care, not in changing the lives of millions of Ethiopians going hungry, and those who are impacted by heavy inflation. So no investment in international relation. International relation is broken. No scholarships for Ethiopian students, no trade relationship. So all failure except the military and except the security apparatus who are beneficial for the extended power grab for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, stay in power forever. That's his dream. That's why he's putting whatever he got from United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, or from other countries, and whatever available from Ethiopia. Invest in the military, invest in the Air Force, invest in the peace and security task force. Those who are his right hand, those who are listening, those who are yes men for his order, whether to kill, to arrest, or to do, intimidation, all kind of stuff against the citizens of Ethiopia. Okay, let's continue with another video. Antonio Guterres, United Nations General Secretary, message for the anniversary of Universal Declaration, 77th anniversary. Let's listen to him.
To the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres. Mr. President of the General Assembly, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to join you to honor the achievements of human rights defenders across the globe. 3/4 of a century ago, in a world decimated by war, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a clarion call to act in accordance with the fundamental truth that each of us is an equal member of a single human family. 75 years on, the world must recall that wisdom, and it must act on it, because human rights are under attack around the world. Conflicts are raging, with appalling consequences for civilians, as we are dramatically witnessing every single day with the immense deaths and suffering in Gaza after the horrors of the 7th October attacks. Inequalities are deepening. Anger and poverty are rising. Women's rights are stalling and in some cases going into reverse. Civic space and media freedom is being rolled back, and new threats are blossoming, from catastrophic climate disasters to artificial intelligence, which holds the potential for immense possibility, but also for immense peril. And age-old hatreds are resurging with a vengeance, from racism to xenophobia and religious intolerance. People are being violently targeted solely for their religion, their ethnicity, or who they love. But across the world, human rights defenders are lights in the darkness. They are changing lives, fighting, educating, and holding power to account to make human rights a living, breathing reality. This is deeply dangerous work. Last year, almost 450 human rights defenders, journalists, and trade unionists were killed, 40% more than the previous year. 33 vanished without a trace, a staggering 300% increase from 2021. So, Excellencies, in this context, today's Human Rights Prize is all the more important. This prize has recognized the achievements of human rights defenders since 1968. It has honored luminaries such as Nelson Mandela, Malala Yousafzai, and the International Committee of the Red Cross. And I pay tribute to each of the recipients of the prize today for their extraordinary work, their humanity, and their courage. Julian Lusange from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Julio Pereira from Uruguay, the Amman Center for Human Rights Studies, the Human Rights Center Vyazna working in Belarus, and the Global Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, indigenous peoples, social movements, and local communities for the universal recognition of the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. Congratulations to you all, and thank you for everything you are doing. And I would also like to pay tribute tonight to the thousands of unsung human rights defenders around the world. We see you, we honor you, and we thank you. Excellencies, leaders of all kinds must have inspiration from you, our prize recipients today, and defend all human rights, political, civil, social, economic, and cultural. The world needs leaders of countries, corporations, political parties, religious and civil organizations, and beyond, to speak out against anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim bigotry, attacks on minority Christian communities, and all forms of hate and abuse. It needs them to protect human rights defenders and bring those who threaten them to justice. It needs them to embrace our common norms and values, to act on them, and be guided by the spirit of humanity and dignity embodied by the Universal Declaration to prevent conflict, protect the planet, and heal divides. I urge all member states to use the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration to strengthen their commitment to making human rights a reality, and to place human rights at the front and center of efforts to update our international institutions at the Summit of the Future next September. Excellencies, once again I congratulate all those awarded the prize today. Fight by fight, case by case, you are making the vision of universal human rights a reality. But you cannot do it alone. As we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we need leaders of all kinds to embrace their role as human rights defenders too. Thank you.
Okay, maybe one more video.
I thank the Secretary.
Okay, one more video.
The further we moved up the mountain with the Mediterranean Sea
Border
behind
of
us,
Israel
the closer
and
we got to the border that separates Israel
Lebanon
from
tension.
Lebanon. Instead of trees, a thick wall and Israeli surveillance towers line this ridge. Many Israeli towns lie directly in Hezbollah's line of fire. We've had to take shelter behind the car because of what seemed like small arms firing. It's not clear who started, but it's certainly between Hezbollah on the Lebanese side, and also we've heard outgoing fire from Israel towards Lebanon. Since the war on Gaza, some of the residents of the Bedouin town of Arab al-Aramshi have been witnessing cross-border firing and airstrikes almost daily. While most of those living in the northern towns have left their homes until the fighting is over, some like Faisal and his family chose to stay. He points to a mosque. That's in the Lebanese town next to us, he says. Arab al-Aramshi is on the front line. Faisal sees the incoming Hezbollah rockets and can also hear the Israeli airstrikes on the other side.
We see it all. It's very dangerous. There's no work, no school, no doctors or people left. We're scared. They could infiltrate the wall. Hezbollah fighters tried it before but failed. They could try again like what we saw on October 7th.
Later that day, Hezbollah said it had targeted Israeli army outposts in a number of locations, and Israel says it responded by hitting its infrastructure and positions. Not long after that statement, that's a rocket that you're hearing just behind me there. And during a live, this happened. That's the bang, it's just landed. A Hezbollah rocket fired across and into Israel. The Iranian-backed group has increased its range of capabilities, with locals saying this is the heaviest bombardment since Israel's 2006 war with Lebanon. And with every mortar or long-range rocket that falls into Israel, towns like Shlomi will remain empty. Sara Khairat, Al Jazeera, Arab al-Aramshi, on the Israeli-Lebanese border.
Okay. So that's all I have from video selection. That's another war front between Israel and Lebanon. The Gaza side is still going on. The destruction, the deaths of, thousands and the thousands of Palestinians continue. No ceasefire so far, no ending sight. Israeli keep pushing the ground offensive. So nothing left really. No place is safe in that war. Let me continue reading other news very quickly. This one is about tragic ambush by armed men claims 13 lives in Horro-Guduru Wallagga, Oromia region. This is from Addis Standard. Horro-Guduru Wallagga zone of Oromia region bore witness to a tragic incident on 12 December 2023, orchestrated by individuals identified as members of the non-state militia FANO. The appalling incident resulted in the loss of at least 13 lives, with several others enduring injuries. The victims, according to report from residents of the district, were traveling from a village known as Korkobe in the Amuru district of Horro-Guduru Wallagga zone to the Bure district in the West Gojam zone of the Amara region. A local teacher speaking on the condition of anonymity informed Addis Standard that the victims were en route to the Bure district in the Amara region for crop harvesting when they fell prey to an attack by the militants. He further stated that the casualties included individuals from diverse backgrounds such as peasants, entrepreneurs, and farmers. According to the resident, the deceased individuals include Tabsulo Desale, Chala Dejash, Warkalem Sirabizu, Jalata Zalalem, Arego Malesa, Gazu Tafarra, Molla Addisu, and Abeba Tamasgen. Another resident in the district, corroborating the teacher's account of the incident to Addis Standard, provided additional details stating that the victims who were en route to the Bure district in the Amara region commenced their journey from the Amoro district situated in the Horoguduru zone of the Oromia region. This resident reiterated the incident, providing additional details that the militia members attacked a Sino truck owned by Nuguse Banja, leading to the tragic deaths of 13 individuals. Fortunately, 4 others survived the attack by jumping from the vehicle, he stated. This marks the latest in a series of attacks on unarmed civilians attributed to assailants identified by local residents as members of the Fano militia. In mid-September 2023, Addis Standard reported on an incident in the village of Dincho, located in the Gida Ayana district within the East Wallagga zone. This attack resulted in the several fatalities, including 3 members of a single family, while survivors sustained severe injuries. According to a medical professional at the Gida Ayana Hospital, who spoke to Addis Standard on the condition of anonymity, of the 11 individuals admitted to the hospital, 5 succumbed to their injuries. The armed assault that took place in the Anodode Dincho area in mid-September targeted civilians mourners traveling from Nakamt to Gida Ayana to attend the funeral. So that's unfortunate condition in Ethiopia. Individuals, non-state actors like Fano and others just carrying out attack against civilians and killing, and also those local militia, government trained police also continue abusing their power against civilians. Even just last week in Addis Ababa, in the capital city of Ethiopia, one doctor was killed by police. Dr. Israel Tselahun, he's 29 years old, very young doctor, just killed by government armed police officer, just assassinated inside his car. So this is the situation, continued tragic situation in Ethiopia. What the government is doing, what Abiy Ahmed and the Prosperity Party are doing, investing whatever they have in such kind of security officers and in the army, in the air force, and all this, no accountability for the killing of civilians in that country. Another bad news for Ethiopia, for Prosperity Party, is the downgrading of Ethiopia's credit rating. you don't see in their celebration. You just witness in the video. The country is empty. The country is dying. But they have the Air Force. They have the task force to survive. Let me read. Fitch downgrades Ethiopia further into junk territory of default. Ethiopia's credit rating was downgraded further into junk territory on Thursday by Fitch rating agency, which cited an increased likelihood of default. The East African country failed to pay a coupon on its single outstanding $1 billion Eurobond, which had been due on December 11, saying last week it could not make the payment. Fitch cut Ethiopia's rating to C, single C, from double C. It downgraded Africa's second or most populous country to last month. The agency does not assign outlook to sovereign rates, triple C plus or below, but said it would downgrade Ethiopia to RD or restricted default if it didn't pay the coupon within 14 days grace period. Ethiopia's economy is still reeling from high inflation, a hard currency shortage, and growing external debt repayment more than a year after the federal government and the rebel forces from the northern Tigray region signed a truce to end a 2-year civil war. But he started another one in Amara region, and the war in Oromia continues. Ethiopia requests debt relief under G20's common framework in early 2021, but progress was initially delayed by the war. Fitch noted that Ethiopia had agreed a debt service suspension with its official creditors. Official sector debt treatment will not be judged a distressed debt exchange under Fitch's sovereign rating criteria, but official creditors may seek comparable treatment for private creditor claims under the common framework, it said. Ethiopia requested International Monetary Fund for $2 billion, but no deal yet. The International Monetary Fund said discussions were ongoing and a staff would likely visit Ethiopia in early 2024. Credit for Reuters. So the country is in a very deep problem economically and other areas. But what Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his core supporters do, put whatever they have in the military. Welcoming the European Council decision on EU enlargement. This is from U.S. State Department. The United States welcomes the European Council's December 14 decision on EU enlargement as a powerful affirmation of the EU candidates and prospective candidates' European future. Today's decisions to open EU accession negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova, grant EU candidate status to Georgia, and open accession negotiation with Bosnia and Herzegovina once it has met the necessary criteria, offer hope and incentive to these countries and their people to continue reforms needed to advance their EU ambitions. This is a historic moment for Europe and for transatlantic partnership. The United States continues to strongly support the EU's enlargement process, and we look forward to supporting EU candidate and prospective candidate countries as they continue critical reform on the path to EU membership. At this pivotal moment for the transatlantic community, we encourage them to seize the momentum to realize their full democratic and economic potential and secure their future in Europe. This is about former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani get punished for defamation case. He is ordered to pay $148 million. Rudy Giuliani must pay more than $148 million in damage to two former Georgia election workers he defamed through false accusation that they helped rig the 2020 election against Donald Trump, a jury decided on Friday. The jury in a federal court in Washington, D.C. found that Giuliani owes the workers Wandira or Sheye in quotation Moss and her mother Ruby Freeman roughly $73 million to compensate them for the reputational and emotional harm they suffered, and $75 million to punish the former Trump lawyer and one-time New York mayor for his conduct. A federal judge determined before the trial that Giuliani was liable for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil conspiracy. The only question before the jury was how much in damage to impose on Giuliani, who helped Republican former President Trump advance his false claims of a stolen 2020 election. Giuliani said he would appeal. The absolutely of the number merely underscores the absurdity of the entire proceeding, he told reporters outside the courtroom. The verdict was reached after an emotional 3 days of testimony in which Moss and Freeman, who are black, recounted a deluge of racist and sexist messages, including threats of lynching they received after Trump and his allies spread false claims that they were engaged in voter fraud. Mr. Giuliani thought he could get away with making Ruby and Shea the face of election fraud because he thought they were ordinary and expendable. The workers' lawyer Michael Gottlieb said during his closing argument, he has no right to offer defenseless civil servants up to a virtual mob in order to overturn an election. Joseph Sibley, a lawyer for Giuliani, acknowledged that his client had caused harm, but said the penalty the plaintiff sought, at least $48 million, would be catastrophic for his client. So that is the penalty Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, must pay, on behalf of the claim he made for former President Donald Trump. Donald Trump also in a very bad shape, so many lawsuits against him, and we'll see the outcome, but he's still leading as a Republican candidate for president for 2024. I don't know how we'll see anyway, but he's still leading. This one is disturbing from in relation to the Middle East, what is we are witnessing in Gaza. is coming to also bothering us in the United States and elsewhere. This one, a Georgia teacher accused of threatening to kill student over Israeli flag question, police says. The student said she found the flag offensive, according to the report. A Georgia teacher has been charged with terroristic threats and cruelty to children after he was accused of threatening a student who said she was offended by the Israeli flag in his classroom, according to a police incident report obtained by ABC News. The Houston County Sheriff's Office reports states that Benjamin Reese, 51, who is listed as a 7th grade social studies teacher on the Warner Robin Middle School website, was reported by another teacher for yelling at 3 students in a hallway on December 7, according to the incident report. He was using all kind of ugly words against children and threatening them to chop off the head just for expressing, uh, about Israeli flag in his classroom. I don't know why he need to bring controversial flag unless in international study class where you have all kind of flags, Israel, Iran, Italy, or whatever. But in this social study class, why he need to bring? The school administration is supposed to pay attention to this controversial issue. And, it's almost the teacher threatening to kill student because the student expressed displeasure what he's doing in that class, why he's bringing Israeli flag. So it's a very hard topic these days, very hard topic, and it's a very tough one. You see on the hearing of in the Congress about intimidating university professors, university presidents, very tough from the people we elected to serve us. They are just bad and they are just showing they are a strong supporter of Israel. So they are intimidating president, intimidating students, and they are challenging freedom of expression. Very hard topic, very challenging topic, and the question is about freedom of expression in the United States. The United Nations, the United States Constitution clearly put this thing for the reason you can express freely your thought without fear of retribution. So, but the intimidation we have witnessing from those pro-Israeli individuals, senators, Congress, and all this, and some of them from the Jewish community, that's 100% behind Netanyahu genocidal war, the complete annihilation of the Palestinian people and their city. So you are expected to be silent on this genocidal war. You cannot say anything. If you say something, you are anti-Semite, and they will come after you. That's the challenge we are witnessing in this country. This is about Sudan and the United Arab Emirates tension. And the United Arab Emirates is not only meddling in Ethiopia, but it's also in Sudan. I don't know what the relationship, what is the guarantee they got from Abiy Ahmed. They are pouring money, they are sending drones, they are doing everything. They are practicing together in the air show. What the return for them, we don't know. There is no official agreement. Let's see what it says. Sudan ordered 15 Emirati diplomats to leave the country amid accusation that the United Arab Emirates is supporting the Rapid Support Force (RSF) paramilitary group, Anadolu reported, citing the state news agency SUNA. The Sudanese Foreign Ministry summoned UAE charge d'affaires Badria al-Shihi and informed her of the decision to expel 15 diplomats, Suna said. No reason was provided for the expulsion, but it came amid rising tension between Khartoum and Abu Dhabi over perceived Emirati support for the Rapid Support Force. There was no comment yet from the Emirati authorities on the Sudanese decision. Last week, Yasir Alata, a member of Sudan's ruling Sovereign Council, accused the United Arab Emirates of providing the Rapid Support Force with weapons and logistics through neighboring countries, including Uganda and the Central African Republic and Chad. This one is about Iran. Iran executes man accused of spying for Mossad, Israeli spying agency. Iranian authorities have today executed a man accused of spying for Israel's Mossad intelligence agency in the latest such death sentence to be carried out for espionage in the country. According to the Iranian judiciary Mizan online outlet, the execution of the man was carried out this morning against a spy of the Zionist regime in Zahedan prison in the southeastern province of Sistan, Baluchistan. The man's identity was not revealed, nor was it clarified when or where he was arrested and underwent trial. But the judicial outlet stated that he had been convicted of intelligence cooperation and espionage for the benefit of the hostile Zionist regime. He was thus found guilty of collecting and providing classified information to the Mossad spy service with the aim of disturbing public order. Today's execution was the latest to be carried out by Iranian authorities, with numerous others arrests, busts, and death sentences enacted against alleged Mossad spies within Iran throughout the past year in particular. Last month, 3 alleged Mossad agents were detained for reportedly planning an attack on Iran through the use of drones. And in August, it was reported that Iranian intelligence dismantled a Mossad cell consisting of over a dozen people and operating across the country. Credit Middle East Monitor. So there is a shadow war ongoing between Israel and Iran. And it's a very tough one when your own citizen spying for other country and providing all the intelligence and all essential information to your enemy. That is what the Iran is claiming, and Israel is also sabotaging the Iranian nuclear scientists, even involved in the killing of Iranian scientists, nuclear scientists. So there is a war already. There is a war between Israel and Iran, and Israel is also pushing America to engage with direct war with Iran, pushing. But for so far, the Biden administration and the former U.S. administration reluctant to take Israeli position and to engage with a war with Iran. So that's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you for joining me. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend. So long, everyone.